Starting lineups have been introduced. They're about ready to turn the lights back on after that introduction. We'll run down the starters one more time for you as we get set to tip this off. For Scott, they're going to have Sydney Richmond, Molly Parada, Morgan Bartlett, Noelle Price, and Ava Carl. And for Simon Kenton, Brindley Purnell, Megan Gonzala, Bella Ober, Anna Kelch, and Haley Webb. Scott in the blues, Simon Kenton in the home whites, and the jump is controlled by the Scott Lady Eagles, and it's in the hands of Noelle Price, one of the players to keep an eye on for this Scott Lady Eagle team. Price comes in averaging 16.2 points a contest. Second leading scorer, Sydney Richmond, 13.1. There's a pass that hit the back of the backboard, and they're going to say it was deflected by number 20, Bella Ober, and it will stay with the Lady Eagles. First possession of the game, 25 seconds in. Simon Kenton straight up man-to-man. They will get after it defensively. Price trying to make a move. Now onto the wing. Here's a three by Richmond, and she knocks it down. Sydney Richmond takes the lid off of it, and the Lady Eagles lead it 3-0 as the Lady Pioneers have their first possession. Simon Kenton facing a man-to-man from Scott, and there's a ball stripped away but controlled by Bella Ober. Ober just had it taken right out of her hands on the drive. Here's a three. That's no good by Kelch, and the rebound comes down to Scott. Price trying to push it. Now on the wing, it's in the hand of Richmond, and the Lady Eagles will look to set it up as they didn't have anything on the break. Here's Price, long three, got it. And just like that, Scott opens up a 6-0 lead on the Lady Pioneers. Here's Webb going to work. No good off the right side. Ball saved into the hands of Price. Price across the timeline, skips it across. She thought about it. Stepping inside, there's a little 18-footer, no good. Ball out of bounds. It's going to go to Simon Kenton as Ava Carl missed the jumper. She was long. So quick start for Scott. As I said, SK's not really been tested this year. Here's a steal by Ava Carl, and she dribbles it off her foot. Trying to make a move to the left on a baseline. Pretty good defense that time, though, by Bella Ober. And an unforced error. Here's Webb. Top of the circle, Purnell. She lets one fly short. And the rebound controlled by Scott. And quickly the other way, and we're going to get an offensive foul as Molly Parada is going to get called. Parada just a little too over-aggressive right there offensively. Didn't really have a lane. And so back-to-back empty possessions for Scott. Here's Webb. Webb, the second leading scorer, 15.2 points. Down low, ball too high, and it's controlled by Price the other way for Scott. We played almost 3 minutes of this game. Simon Kenton is yet to score. Richmond for three, no good. Soft rims here at Simon Kenton, but to no avail there. Purnell stops in the lane, off the window, no good. Webb gets the rebound, but they will reset it. Webb, top of the circle. Gives it off to Ober. Ball knocked away momentarily. Here's Webb again. There's a cut. Kelch can't handle the pass. Good idea as Kelch cut on the back door. And Webb threw a pretty good pass, but just not able to control it. And Simon Kenton still hasn't found the basket. Little token pressure here, but Richmond can't get it across, and it's another turnover. That is at least 3 Scott turnovers here in the early going. They've had a chance a couple of times to extend this lead and have not been able to do it. And Simon Kenton, now 3.5 minutes in, still looking for their first score. Here's Webb again. Off to Ober. Purnell. And we're going to get a stoppage. We had a fan who was walking right in front of the bench. And when Purnell went to make her move, the official stopped play. I think he felt like the fan was making it a disadvantage, and so he stops play, and Simon Kenton inbounds. Here's Purnell. All-time leading three-point shooter here at SK. And here's another one, and that's why, right on cue, Purnell knocks down a three. She broke the record earlier this year when she made her 238th. She is going to obliterate the record as she's only a junior. And there's another turnover by Scott. Jamie Walls is the all-time leading three-point shooter in the state, and I believe she has 539 career threes. Bella Ober has over 238. Now as there's Webb. Nice pass from Kelch. And Simon Kenton getting its footing a little bit here as it's 6-5. But as I said, Purnell is going to have that record on lockdown when she graduates next year. And it'll be tough for somebody to break it. Down low to Webb, one-on-one. That's a block, and that's a bucket. Actually, I thought it was no call. I thought the official was just going to let it go. But instead, the official is going to call the block. Let's check the foul. It's on Ava Carl, her first. And it's going to give Webb a chance for a three-point play. And the free throw is no good. 71% shooter coming in. Misses that one, but SK has the lead, and there's another turnover as Purnell was putting pressure out top on Parada and caused the double dribble. Oh, Purnell got away with one. She hadn't dribbled, so she went up to shoot and then realized she wasn't going to get the shot off and dribbled on her way back down. Now she'll take the shot and money. Brindley Purnell has a smooth shot, and if you don't put a hand up in her face, she is not afraid to take it. And she has 2 of them here in the first quarter. And that 6-0 advantage for Scott is gone as Simon Kenton has outscored the Lady Eagles 10-0, forcing the timeout. As I said in their last outing, Simon Kenton beat Madison Southern 64-37. 3 players in double digits. Anna Kelch, 15 points, Haley Webb 14, and Purnell with 12 to lead the way in Scott's last game, this 62-40 win. Sydney Richmond had 23 points, Noelle Price 19, as the 2 of them combined for all 5 of Scott's three-point baskets. Now some pretty good pressure, and able to get through it is Scott. Simon Kenton loves to put that pressure on in the half court, especially when they're able to make shots, which they weren't able to do early. And there's a ball on the floor, and not a jump ball. Haley Webb will lay it up and in on the other end. And it's 12-6. And now the pressure really ratcheted up. Parada, left-hand dribble. Gets it across the Price, tries to go down low, and a foul. She got it down there to Kaylee Miller, but Miller got bumped. And the foul is on Gonzala, her first. So Price will inbound. Underneath her own basket. Nice pass blocked. Haley Webb, and then taken away and put back up. No good by Miller. Haley Webb, though, blocked Sydney Richmond, and quickly Kelch short on the jumper on the other end. Here's Richmond for three. No good. Rushed it a little bit. Didn't really have her feet set. Good idea. Ober cutting to the basket. That time for Simon Kenton was Angela Cabella, and the pass goes off her hands out of bounds. 1:34 to go, first quarter, 12-6, Simon Kenton on top. Again, I'm Brian Blair, TBNK Sports. Happy to have you along this Tuesday night as you watch this. Oh, there's a bad pass taken right away by Kelch. In fact, it was thrown right to her. Here's Purnell in the lane, little runner, good. She is so smooth with the basketball, and it is a 12-0 run. And Scott finds themselves down 6 after leading this game 6-0 and having trouble with the pressure from Simon Kenton. Purnell just takes it away. She will lay it up and in. She now has 10, and it's 16-6. Pressure again, double team. And it will be a backcourt violation. Actually, the ball got knocked out of bounds. And I really thought that was going to be Simon Kenton basketball. And now the officials are talking about it, and it is over and back. Good job by the officials to talk about that. See if it was a deflection that caused the basketball to go into the backcourt, but it did not. It was not deflected, and so it is an over and back. 37 seconds, Simon Kenton up 10. Down 6-0, and they're on a 16-0 run. Top of the key, three, short and out of bounds. That was Cabella, no good. Allison Wiggins, an 8th grader, enters the game. And also Gonzala going to check back in for SK as Purnell will get a break. Inbounds to Price, 22 seconds. Price gets it across in a hurry. Going to get double teamed and then throws it up for grabs, and it's an over and back. Pressure really giving Scott fits. 15.9 seconds. You would expect Simon Kenton to wait on the last one, but if they get a good one, they'll take it, I'm sure. Here's Wiggins, top of the circle. Three on the wing is good by Cabella, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Simon Kenton was down 6-0, and they are all of a sudden on top, 19-6 here at the end of one. To take a look at these two teams as we are in the quarter change. Simon Kenton last year 26-5. They were the 8th region champs. They did go to Rupp Arena where they lost to Frederick Douglass in the first round of the Sweet 16. And as I said earlier, their average margin of victory right now is 21.7 points. This is a team, by folks that I've talked to, that they're the cream of the crop of the 8th region. and look like they have a really good chance to repeat as the 8th region champs. If you're Scott, they were 13-13 a season ago. They lost to Bishop Brossard in the first round of the 37th district. 2 years ago, though, they did reach the 37 finals in the first round of the 10th region. So no seniors on this Scott team. So they are learning. A couple of juniors, some sophomores. Head coach Eric Pouncey is really looking for a lot of growth so far this season, and there's a 3 good by Anna Kelch, and it's 22-6. Scott's 2 best players from a year ago, the 2 highest scorers. There's another steal. 1 transferred to Purcell Marion as the ball's going to go out of bounds and back to Simon Kenton. And Nikaya Mahia, she averaged 13.2 a game, and then she's now at Purcell Marion this year. And Kaya Peterson, she averaged just under 11 points a game last year, and she graduated. So when you look at this Scott team, as they again face pressure, you're looking for Price and Richmond and Ava Caro and Parada to really have to carry the load and learn. And this is a tough lesson tonight against a really good SK team. Pass deflected, controlled by Purnell. Simon Kenton on a 22-6 run after getting off to a pretty good start. A couple of threes in the first quarter. Scott has not scored since. Driving, left-hand layup, too strong. That was Croman, and quickly Price the other way. That's a block. Oh! Going to get Noelle Price with the foul, or excuse me, Cadence Charles is going to be called for the foul, number 12, her first. Here's Kelch to Webb. Both players scored 1,000 points earlier this season, or scored their 1,000th point of their career. That'd have been something if they'd have both scored 1,000 points. But both of them did it in the same week back in early December. As there's a three-pointer missed. So a lot of firepower on this SK team. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Here's the drive. Cadence gets knocked down hard and fouled. As that's Charles, Cadence Charles. And the foul is going to go against Anna Kelch, her first. So it'll be Price to inbound under the basket for Scott. Inbound to Richmond, top of the circle. She will shoot that. Now gives it over to Price as the Lady Eagles look to set up the offense. First time in a long time they've been able to just set up the offense without having to bring it across half court. Skip pass, Richmond in the corner. Three ball too long as Parada misses. And SK the other way. Webb saves it in to Ober. Now up top. Kelly Neese with the basketball. Driving, goes up, left side, good. Got to defend her out of position. And Kaylee Neese gets two, and then the ball goes off Charles' hands out of bounds. 5 minutes to go, second quarter, 24-6. Simon Kenton on top. Purnell walks it across. Gives it off to Gonzala. Now over to Purnell. And a timeout. Little dysfunction right there in a 30-second timeout. Going to be taken by Jeff Stowers. Didn't like what he saw, and he quickly called timeout to talk about it. Some other games going on tonight, and of course, as you're watching this, it's Tuesday night, but a couple of games going on here on this Friday night of interest. Dixie is at Notre Dame. Notre Dame will be playing SK at Notre Dame on Tuesday night. Holy Cross hosts Russell. Both teams in that one are 8-2. Ryle is hosting St. Henry. The Lady Raiders 6-5. St. Henry 8-2 on the year. St. Patrick is 1-6. They'll be playing at Holmes tonight, and then Harrison County, the Phillies, are at Villa Madonna tonight. Harrison County 6-7. Villa Madonna 5-5. We'll talk about some boys action going on later on. Simon Kenton, the ball in the lead. They lead it by 18. Nice cut by Webb and a block from behind by Richmond. And then a turnover. And quickly the other way. Webb will try it again, and she gets fouled this time by Richmond. One thing about Haley Webb is she runs the floor very well, fills that lane, and because I think she knows and understands that if she can get to that position, especially beat that defender, her teammates are going to get her the basketball. She is now 0 for 2 from the line, 71% shooter. And she makes the second, 25-6. Pressure again. Or still, I should say. Here's Carl going baseline. Up top to Price. Looking for some space. Pass down low to Richmond. Richmond has it, being guarded by Purnell. Scott looking for a basket. They haven't had one since early first quarter, and there's a pass thrown away and out of bounds. .349 to go in the first half, 25-6. Simon Kenton on top. Here's Ober. Back to Purnell. The junior. Corner three. That is money. She gets her feet set, and you don't put a hand up, as I said earlier. She's more than likely going to knock it down. 28-6. Richmond had it knocked away, but able to recover. Parada, now to Price. Back to Parada. Three ball in the corner, no good by Miller. Rebound, easy rebound for Simon Kenton as they look to push again. Down low, Webb got lost, and she just lays it up and in. And it's 30-6. Again, Haley Webb just ran the floor. Nobody picked her up. And Purnell gets, you won't get a much easier assist, and Haley Webb won't get a much easier 2 points. So SK has run off 30 in a row, and they lead it 30-6. Some boys action going on tonight around Kenton County schools. We've got Lloyd 7-3. They're at Oldham County, who is 5-4. You've got Pendleton County traveling up to Taylor Mill to take on Scott. The Wildcats from Pendleton County 6-5. Scott 6-3. St. Henry is hosting Dixie. The Crusaders 2-7. The Colonels 9-3. And then Beechwood 10-1. Their only loss came to Harlan County last Sunday afternoon. It was a 2-point loss. They're 10-1 as they are playing Woodward Career Technical School tonight. That game at Beechwood. Here it's 30-6. Driving, laying up good. First basket in a while for Scott, and it comes from Molly Parada. That's their first 2-point basket, and there's an offensive foul. Ava Carl stood in there, and Webb bumped her, and it's an offensive foul. Her first. See if Scott can get any momentum going after that last basket. Here's Price dribbling through the traffic, laying it up, and she's fouled. That time she just took matters into her own hands. If I was on Cabella, her first, and Price at the line misses the first of two. One of the weaknesses of this Scott team, they only shoot at 59% from the free throw line. Price, one of the better shooters. She's a 68% shooter. She makes the second, and it's 30-9. Burnell going to her left, guarded by Richmond, cut off. Here's Oberg, right-hand layup, good. Oberg just went one-on-one with their defender, and nice right-hand finish off the glass. Here's a three in the corner, no good, off the front of the rim. That was missed by Bartlett, and quickly the other way comes Simon Kenton. Burnell thought about it for a minute, and then gives it off to Webb, who's fouled. Price tried to pick her pocket, got caught. That's her first. Minute 32 to go in the first half. 32-9. SK on top with the basketball. Webb gives it off to Purnell. Very patient. No reason to be in a hurry. Purnell thought about it. Webb again, top of the circle, finds a cutting Ober, kicks it back up top, nothing happening. Here's Cabella for three, and she makes it. 35-9. That's just good ball movement, patience. Price drives all the way, no good. Rebound out of bounds, and it stays with Scott. Naomi Croman into the game for Simon Kenton. Three, top of the key, good. Sydney Richmond. Her second field goal of the night, both from three-point range, and it's 35-12. Purnell to answer. No good, too strong. Rebound, Carl. And a pass deflected out of bounds, and it will stay with Scott. 25.9. Inbounds to Price. She gets across the timeline, has it knocked away from behind and stolen. 20 seconds left. Cabella driving right side, good. Down to 10 seconds. Price splits the double team. 4 seconds and a foul. Gonzalo will be called, just the 4th team foul. So Scott will inbound and get the last shot. Richmond lays it up and in off the inbound. Nice play to end the half as Price finds Sidney Richmond. And at the half, Simon Kenton leads Scott 37-14. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back, give you all the numbers from the first half, and get you set for the second half here on TBNK Sports.
Has this ever happened to you? You've filmed the local high school playoff game, church concert recital, or even Little Lucy's weekly baking club, but unsure what comes next? Well then, my over-encumbered friend, you might just be in need of a non-linear digital editing system. At TBNK, any project can find its voice with the help of one of our video editing bays, available at no charge to our Kenton County residents.
I can talk now.
Well, maybe not that voice. Now, where was I? Oh yes, whether it's with one of our TBNK public use cameras or equipment all your own, you can utilize your choice of editing software here at TBNK to bring your project alive.
So why do they call it a green screen?
Have a question? Just ask one of our TBNK employees and we'll be happy to help.
Boom. That's movie magic.
Your video will even be broadcast on our local community TV channels across Alta Fiber and Spectrum. Watch out, Mr. Spielberg. Want to learn more? Email create@tbnk.org or call TBNK at 859-261-1300. Remember, it's your voice. Use it at TBNK.
Welcome back to Simon Kenton High School here at halftime. I'm Brian Blair. As the Scott Eagles scored the first 6 points of the basketball game and then got outscored 37-8 the rest of the first half as the Simon Kenton Lady Pioneers lead it here at the break 37-14. Thanks for watching TBNK Sports tonight as we bring you Northern Kentucky, Kenton County high school basketball. Taking a look at some numbers from the first half. First of all, scoring-wise, for Simon Kenton, Brindley Purnell led all scorers with 13 points. Haley Webb had 9. Angela Cabella had 8. Anna Kelch with 3. Kaylee Neese and Bella Ober each had 2 points each for SK. For Scott, they were led in the first half by Sidney Richmond. She had a couple of 3-pointers, added a 2-point field goal for her, 8 points. Noelle Price had 4. Molly Parada had 2. So we're about set to get started. I'll tell you what happened here at halftime, which was pretty cool if you're a Simon Kenton fan. Well, we are about set to go as it will be Scott basketball as they try to find a way to dig out of a pretty big hole against a really good Simon Kenton basketball team. We just turned it on. Scott's in blue. Simon Kenton's in white. As we are here at SK, as you can obviously tell by the big SK at half court. One of the nicer gyms around Northern Kentucky and in the 8th region. And as I say this all the time, it is weird that you have 3 county schools in Kenton County and all 3 in different regions. Simon Kenton in the 8th, Scott in the 10th, and Dixie in the 9th. Heard rumors that it might change, but rumors are just that until they're fact. Down low to Richmond. She'll turn and put it up. No good. Short. Rebound SK. 30 seconds into the second half. Lady Pioneers looking to pick up where they left off. Purnell trying to cut to the basket. Instead, they give it off to Gonzala. Now Ober on the wing to Purnell. No reason for Simon Kenton to be in any hurry. Looking down low. Instead, Webb will come up top and get it. Carl guards her tightly. This possession well over 40 seconds which brings to mind, of course, the shot clock coming to high school basketball throughout Kentucky. Not sure exactly how long it's going to be. I've heard 35 seconds. Here's a drive, no good, missed by Ober, and the rebound controlled by SK. I think 35 seconds would be a good amount of time. Purnell, shot fake, drives off the left window, no good. Rebound, Purnell. That was close. I didn't know that she had reestablished herself on the court before she got that rebound. But this possession has been a long time, and it's ended by Purnell. She knocks down her 4th three, her 16th point, and it's 40-14, and there's a turnover. And that's really been the story of this game, is SK forcing Simon Kenton to make a lot of unforced errors as Purnell drives in, casually misses the layup, but SK gets the board. Purnell had too much time on that one. Maybe she was too close. Be interesting to see what effect the shot clock has. I don't think, and in talking to coaches, if you don't know, I teach at Owen County High School, and so I talk to our coaches a lot as we have a steal, a turnover really. Scott with the basketball, and then it's taken right back by Gonzala. But talking to some coaches, they don't think that the shot clock is going to have a huge effect on most games. Most teams aren't going to take 35 seconds to shoot regardless. The interesting talk in talking to the coaches, as I mentioned, is the end of game, end of quarter situations. How are coaches going to play the 2-for-1, which you often see in college and the NBA? What's that going to look like, and how is it going to change coaches' attitudes? Here's Carl, left side, puts it up. No good. And then a pass thrown out of bounds. Ooh, last touched by Scott as Kaylee Miller got a hand on it. I was told by one coach that you'll find out who the good coaches are as to how well they handle it. Because I would think, having never coached, that if you've never had to deal with the shot clock, it will take some adjusting. Here's a three. Ober, no good. Rebound comes down to Kelch. Back up top to Purnell, who tight ropes the midcourt line. 4:13 to go. Webb up top. I had one coach ask me or say to me, as we're going to get almost a jump ball, but no. If it goes to high school, would it go to middle school basketball as well? Here's a pass into the nice cut. And a basket by Anna Kelch off the feed from Haley Webb. Ava Carl picks up her second. And his point is if you're going to get kids used to a shot clock in high school, one of the things that you would almost want to do is also get kids ready for high school by having it in middle school. So, interesting thought. 43-14. Simon Kenton on top. Price, a lot of dribbling, looking for some room. Price for three, no good. Rebound put back up, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Gonzala. Bartlett had a chance for the putback. Here's Purnell, three-pointer, too strong, and a rebound by Carl as she comes flying in to pull it down. Ava Carl, her twin sister, on the Scott team as well, but she is injured. That's Emma Carl. Three-pointer, no good by Bartlett. And Purnell the rebound. 2:42. Driving, no good on his Ober's shot. Rebound, Carl quickly the other way. Sydney Richmond with it. She's been the offensive leader. Nice pass underneath and a basket. Up and in. I will let you know who that was. That was Bartlett. I apologize. Her hair got in the way of the 1, and I only saw the 5. And I was like, I don't have a 5. Oh, wait, I have a 15. Bartlett, her first basket. 3, left corner, no good. That comes up short from Gonzala. Price quickly the other way. Richmond, she can make that, and she does from the corner. That's her third 3 of the game. She now has 11, 43-19 in a rapidly played third quarter. As we are just a minute and a half remaining. Not a lot of stoppages, not a lot of fouls, turnovers, just been continuous action. Purnell drives, left side up, no good, looking for a foul. And a technical foul now on Purnell. She said a little bit too much to the official. And she gets called. I don't know what she said. The official came over as Price misses the first of the 2 technicals. She thought there was a foul, Purnell did, and as she missed the shot, and she said something, but I didn't even really think it was directed at the official, which clearly he thought it was. And he came over and he told Jeff Stowers what it was, and he didn't seem too upset. And they're all kind of smiling about it now. Oh, well. I guess 43-20. You can afford to laugh at getting a technical. I don't know. Pass out of bounds off the hands of Croman, and it stays with Scott. I don't know if maybe that's one of those cases where he blew his whistle and was like, oh, crud, I blew my whistle. I have to call a technical now. Some perspiration. It's not sweat because girls don't sweat. They just perspire. I'm not wrong on that, am I? I mean, that's what they would say. So they get that taken care of. 43-20. Under a minute to go now in the third quarter. Wow. Where have I been? Price, nice cut. Up and in, Richmond. That's one of the best looking plays of the night from the Scott Lady Eagles, but quickly the other way. A pass and a basket up and in by Cabella.
The basket by Andrew Cabella was good. The foul on number 12. Charles.
Foul was on Cadence Charles, her second, and Cabella, a 67% free throw shooter. She now has 11, and it's 46-22. 41.8 seconds to go in the third. Price gets around Cabella into the lane, drops it off. No good, put back up. Charles trying to anyway. Now falls down and is fouled.
The foul on number 12.
Fouls on Allison Wiggins, her first. Just the second on the team. 27 seconds left, and Scott's going to call timeout. Well, if you're a college football fan, you're getting excited for the CFP semifinals. I must confess today that I picked all 4 of the games this week. I picked who I thought was going to win all 4. And I was wrong 4 times. For entertainment purposes only, I had Ohio State, Texas Tech, Alabama, and Georgia. I swung and missed more than Ellie De La Cruz. Here's Sydney Richmond off the inbounds.
Basket by Richmond, Sydney Richmond.
She's having herself a pretty nice ball game. 18 seconds to go. Cabella working on Richmond. Down to 14 seconds. Down to 10. Pass stolen, actually knocked out of bounds. Almost stolen by Charles. And so with 4.1 seconds to go, and a lot of new faces out there for SK. Nice inbound. Cabella, no good. Rebound, Carl, and she will not get off a shot. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. SK leads it 46-24 over Scott. So as I mentioned here at halftime, a little bit longer halftime than normal as alumni from the women's program here at Simon Kenton were recognized, and especially the 1975 SK Lady Pioneers, as they became the first team here at Simon Kenton to win a district title, as they won the 1975 33rd District, which at that time had 7 teams in it, and they won the district, went on to lose in the 9th region tournament. I believe they said Holy Cross beat them, but their head coach, George Loneman, was recognized. A lot of the 75 alumni were here and were recognized on the court here at halftime. So pretty cool thing tonight here is the current Lady Pioneers got to see and show their respects to the former Lady Pioneers. And of course, as they mentioned throughout the ceremony tonight, that, you know, those ladies laid the foundation for this program. So it was cool to see them get recognized here tonight. Fourth quarter underway. It's like the starters back in for SK, at least for a few minutes. Oh, pass taken away and stolen by Charles. She will lay it up and in on the other side. Trying to get it to Webb. Charles just took it away and went coast to coast. 46-26. Foul on Kaylee Miller, her first. Kaylee Miller, one of the juniors on this squad. As I said earlier, no seniors. It's that time of the season, you know, you turn the calendar to the new year. You played all the Christmas tournaments. By now you kind of know what you have, and you're ready to get into the meat of your schedule. Three-pointer too strong off the back iron. Webb and Price get tangled up, and the ball goes out of bounds. And what's the call? Surprised there wasn't at least a jump ball there. But as I was saying, you know, you really stop and think about the season. You know, here we are, January 2nd. Getting a little testy down there between Webb and Charles. Kelch off the screen, knocks down the three. But you're getting into really the meat of the season, and in just a few days, a little over a month, you'll be getting ready for district tournaments. Price lays it in on this end for Scott. Kelch again, no good. Rebound. Simon Kenton, Purnell. That is just too good. But it is crazy how fast the season will go from this point. Like I said, you get into that new year, the calendar flips over to January, and before you know it, you're looking up, and it's district tournament time. Richmond, three ball, no good. Rebound, Charles lays it up, no, and the rebound's controlled by Kelch as Charles goes down hard. She's slow getting back up. Now she joins the pack. Kelch, open three, good. She now has 3 threes on the night and 11 points, 55-28. Carl to Charles. Charles drives in. That's an offensive foul. And she lands hard again.
Number 12, Kenton Charles, her third.
And that's her third foul. She gets up. She's okay. 5.5 to play. 55-28. SK on top. It's been a three-point barrage here in the fourth quarter. Anna Kelch has a couple of threes. Brindley Purnell has a three of her own. And it's 55-28. Some pressure being applied and a turnover. So Scott kind of gives Simon Kenton a little taste of their own medicine as they force the turnover, applying some pressure in the backcourt. And a foul as Anna Kelch is going to get called for the reach. Be her second, team's first of the quarter. That's Miller driving in. Richmond, three, got it. Sydney Richmond now with 18. 55-31. Purnell just goes everybody. Nobody stopped the basketball, and Purnell makes them pay with the easy layup. And now we're going to get a whole new group of ladies wearing white jerseys into the ball game as the starters will check out for probably the final time tonight. 4:47 to go in the game. 57-31. SK on top. Price driving. Richmond again. Good again.
Basket by Richmond. Sydney Richmond for three.
She now has 5 3-point baskets. Here's a steal. Price the other way. Going up, throwing it up, and the prayer is not answered. And then a jump ball or foul. We have a jump ball. Price just kind of threw it up with her left hand, and it almost went in. Somebody might want to guard number 3 for Scott. Price will dribble it out near the half-court line. Driving, kicks. Richmond thought about it. This time drives in, has it stripped away. Other way, Peets puts it up good and a foul. I think they got Ava Carl. That's her third. Pete's at the line. No good on the free throw. Under 4 to go. Price quickly the other way as it's stripped and taken away. Here's a 3. Top of the circle, no good by Nice. And a foul on the rebound will give it back to Scott. Nice had a good look. Just couldn't get it to go. As Allison Wiggins checks in for Croman. 3:38 to play. It's 59-34. No foul call. Quickly the other way comes SK, and it will be a pass out of bounds, and it will go back to Simon Kenton.
Billy Coleman, number 14, moving into the lineup for the Pioneers.
3:22 left. Richmond kicks it. Price in the corner. Good. Little two-man game right there. It had been Price giving it to Richmond. That time the roles reversed, and Price knocks down the 3. There's a ball loose on the floor. Simon Kenton comes up with it. Now it's out of bounds. Stays with Simon Kenton.
Angie Goulet, number 30, moving into the lineup for the Pioneers.
59-37. Inbound. Cabella puts it up and in. She's tough. She is a nice change of pace, really, for Haley Webb, and she's only an 8th grader. So I would imagine that she and Webb have some pretty good battles in practice every day. Pass off the foot of Simon Kenton out of bounds. Piper Couch now checks in. Cabella off the bench tonight has 13 points. Shot no good. Rebound, Cabella. 2:20 left. 3 ball from the corner, no good. That's Croman. And a foul, and that's going to be on Carl, her 4th.
Allison Wiggins at the line for the Pioneers.
That's going to send Allison Wiggins to the free throw line. She knocks the first one down calmly.
Billy Nice, number 21, moving into the lineup for the Pioneers. Wiggins at the line to shoot 4.
So a couple 8th graders out there right now, and then when Pete's was out there, they have a 7th grader on the floor. So if you're looking to the future for Simon Kenton and thinking maybe we'll get a break, no. They're going to keep coming. Price goes up strong and a foul. I'm not sure who they're going to get. They're going to get Cabella. That'll be her 2nd, and it's going to put Price at the line for a couple.
Price at the line. Price at the line for the Eagles to shoot 1.
Price a 68% shooter, 2 of 4 tonight. That one's good. (62-38). Top of the key, Croman. Now to Couch. She drives in, high off the window, no good. Rebound, Richmond. Minute 40 to go. Cabella knocks it away. Now it's Price. She pulls up with a little 8-foot jumper and not got it.
Basketball players, Noel Price.
Oh, a lot of contact, and Kaylee Miller going to get called for the foul. And that's going to be the 5th. So it's going to send, let's see, it's going to send Couch to the line for a couple. 1:25 to go. 62-40. Free throw good. Second one good. 124, 64-40. Richmond to Price. Price thought about it. Richmond, will she shoot it? She will. And she's short off the side of the rim. Rebound Simon Kenton. They're coming the other way. Croman, left side, lays it up, no good. A lot of contact, no call. Under a minute to go. Price, nice move, goes up right side, misses. Rebound SK. 48 seconds. Here's a three, no good. Rebound loose. Cabella drops it off to Peets, no good. And wow, a lot of contact on that. But with 34 seconds, the officials are just going to let that one go. Now, I know I'm 53 years old, but I teach high school, and I sometimes have the brain of an 8 or 9-year-old kid. And I say that because if Simon Kenton makes a three, it would give them 67. And so I'm going to admit that I'm actually kind of rooting for it because I just want to say, oh, come on, call a foul. Nope, never mind. Basket's good. 66-40. I don't have any idea what it means. It means nothing, but it's just fun. Unless you're an elementary school teacher, and then I think you hate it with a passion. "15 seconds. Simon Kent or Scott will inbound it. Miller with 4. She gonna get a shot up with 2. Nope, and that's gonna do it. Simon Kenton wins it, 66-40. They improved to 11-0 on the season, while Scott will fall to 5-8. You give me a quick second here to add up these totals. I'll run those down for you, and then we'll get out of here. So these will be very unofficial. All right, first of all, for Scott, they were led in scoring by Sydney Richmond. She had 21 points. Noelle Price finished with 14. And then we had 3 players that had 2 points each. That would be Molly Parada, Cadence Charles, and Morgan Bartlett. For Simon Kenton, they were led in scoring tonight by Brindley Purnell. She finished with 21 points. Angela Cabella off the bench had 13. Anna Kelch with 11. Haley Webb had 9. Emma Peets with 2. Allison Wiggins had 3. And Bella Ober and Piper Couch each had 2. 66-40, your final score. Simon Kenton now 11-0 on the season, as I said, and the Scott Eagles fall to 5-8. That's going to do it for, I would say us, but that's going to do it for me. As been happy that you have tuned in tonight, and we will see you again later down the road. For all the guys behind me, appreciate all they do. I'm Brian Blair saying good night from Independence.